So how long have you been homeless?
First love was heroin. I couldn't even begin to name like all the people that I have gotten molested by. I mean, they can hear her beating me. People can hear her.
How do you feel about your mother?
And the judge said life, 25 to life, and I was like,
What?
no.
Hey.
So I said, okay, can I just go home for a furlough so I can take care of my kids, so I can, get things situated with them?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, sure. He shouldn't have did that.
Hey, this is askrphtish in the beautiful city of Charlotte, North Carolina. And who do I have the pleasure of meeting today?
Miss Sheila.
Hi, Miss Sheila. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
All right. So are you born and raised in Charlotte?
No, I'm not. I'm actually from Jersey City.
From Jersey City? Oh, so you're a Jersey girl. So what brought you down to Charlotte?
Actually, this is like my second time. My first time wasn't too profitable.
Okay.
Because I was using back then.
Okay.
And
what were you using?
I was using crack.
Okay.
And so coming to Charlotte was like, that's all you seen? Like, I got off the bus and it was like right there, and you just start having fun and you just venture out and you just forget about everything else.
Okay.
Once you start smoking.
Now you came from New Jersey. Now isn't there a lot going on in New Jersey though versus the South?
Yeah.
But it was more like a family here, would it?
No. In Jersey, see, I have family and my kids were there.
Oh, gotcha.
So, and my kids are grown now, so I didn't want my kids or my grandkids to see me out there standing on the corner trying to hustle to get some dough.
Yeah.
That just wasn't going to
that's real what you just said.
That wasn't going to do it for me.
Okay. So let's back up. So tell me about your childhood. You had your mom, your dad, or how was your childhood growing up?
Well, it was rough.
How so?
My mom was an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
And I became her slave. You
became her slave? In what way?
Might as well say slave. I had to cook. Actually stand on the chair.
Oh, really?
Can't reach the stove now, but I'm standing on the chair. She teach me to cook.
Okay.
Because when she come home, she want her dinner ready.
Oh, wow.
And her drink ready.
Oh, really?
Her bathwater ran. Yeah. The kids taken care of.
Did you have a childhood?
No.
Were you the oldest girl, or?
I'm the oldest girl.
Oh, okay. So basically, you became the woman of the house.
Yeah.
While she went out to work.
Mm-hmm. And while she went out to do whatever else she wanted to do.
Wow. So how did that affect you? Going to school. You're supposed to study. You're supposed to be able to play with baby dolls and everything, and you have to stand on a chair to just cook and clean.
I didn't get to do that.
Mm-hmm. So was your mother abusive?
Every day.
Every day?
Every day.
So how were your teenage years?
I left before I turned 13. I left home when I was like 11.
Really?
Because something happened. I don't quite remember what, but my mom came home from work and she was upset. And so, y'all know they had these two pillows that divide a living room from a bedroom.
Okay.
And she stripped me naked first, tied me up to these poles, opened the front door, and beat me with a extension cord until I bled. And the kids in the school saw it. So I was embarrassed, and I stopped going to school.
Are you serious?
I stopped going.
So you made her mad, and she just totally
went off.
Went
crazy. And so I stopped going to school. And I hadn't even finished the 8th grade. So
really, and so how did she feel about you staying home all the time, or she just?
Well, when I left.
Where did you go at 11 years old?
In the street. In the street, sleeping in the hallways. So I tried to, because I was still scared, I tried to like stay places like close to where she lived at.
Yeah.
But she would, it didn't faze her. She would come downstairs in the mornings and throw her garbage in the basement and see me sleeping there and just throw the garbage down there on me. Go to work. Told my sisters they better not open the door. Otherwise they get it when she come home.
So instead of trying to get you to come back, she basically made sure you were
She
banned.
definitely didn't want me to come back. She didn't want me to come back.
So how did that shape your relationships and stuff? You know, did you ever get married or anything?
I did, but I have a habit of picking the wrong men too. The ones that want to beat on you.
Yeah. So you just kept the cycle of domestic violence just kept going from your home life until your married life. Wow. So how old were you when you started using drugs?
I was 16.
16, and what was that moment like?
My first drug was heroin, and I loved it. Not shooting, I was sniffing it, and I loved it at the time because it just made me forget about stuff. It made me feel like I was Superwoman. You know, I could do anything. You know, but them anythings wasn't good.
Right.
You know what I mean? Breaking in cars, stealing people's cars. You know.
Hold up, let me back up. Your first drug of choice was heroin?
Yeah.
That's so what was that moment like? Who gave that to you?
Well, I had got arrested because I had bought a bag of weed from somebody, and that somebody happened to be a cop.
Right.
And I got arrested, and I think I spent like 3 weeks in jail. So upon coming home, I'm walking down the street, and I ran into this guy that I called my best friend. His name was Charles, and he was like, "Where you been? Ain't nobody seen you." I said, "I was locked up." He was like, "Oh, so you just coming home?" I said, "Yeah, I'm just coming from, getting out of the jail. I walked home. I walked here." So he was like, "Well, you ain't been on yet, then. You ain't had nothing yet." "No." He was like, "Come on, let me fix you up."
Oh my goodness.
And we got in the car, and he fed it to me. He fed it to me like a little at a time.
Yeah.
And it was fine at first. It was good. It made me relax. Like I said, it felt good.
Right.
My mind just to be like blank. And
all the troubles of the world, all of that, being a young girl, all of the pain, the hurt,
and all of that.
Okay.
So all of that came into play.
Yeah.
During the time that I left my mom,
who molested?
Even the times while I was with her, and she would go to work. And we had this landlord, and he had a son. They had 13 kids.
Okay.
And his son would get on the roof at night, where our bedroom was.
Yeah.
And he would knock on the window, and I would be like,
yeah,
not
taking
not
it back.
Go, like trying to leave it. It was like, if you don't come, I'm coming to get one of your sisters.
Oh my God!
And I didn't want him to mess with my sisters, so I would go ahead out. I would go ahead and climb out the window and do what he wanted me to do.
Right.
To keep him from messing with my sisters.
Really, to protect them. How old was he?
He was about 13.
And how old were you?
Oh, I was young. I was like 9, 10.
Are you serious? But at that age, you still had it.
And then when I started bleeding, I got scared because I just knew she was gonna
find out.
She was gonna kill me. So I went to my stepfather's sister's house, my aunt Earlene. She lived close by us, and I told her what happened. And so instead of calling my mom, she called my stepfather. And so he broke the news to her, and she was like, "Oh, she just a little slut. She da-da-da. She probably instigated it. Da-da-da-da-da-da."
Oh my gosh.
And
so instead of being mad at the
yeah, she was mad at me.
And
she blamed me.
How did that make you feel, being a 9-year-old little girl being called a slut?
Not good. Not good. Because I had also heard the boys call her that.
What boys call who?
From outside, my neighbors, the guys I went to school with, the little boys.
They would call your mama slut?
Yeah, because she would walk out, like, when she going out, she would wear little hot pants all up to her butt. You know what I'm saying? And they be looking, oh, she gonna be just like her mother. So, they gonna try you.
Right.
And they did.
Right. So who molested you?
A whole bunch. It's a whole lot. I couldn't even begin to name, like, all the people that I have gotten molested by.
At a young age?
At a young age.
And why was there so much opportunity for that? In your neighborhood, or?
Because she was never around. My mom was never around. Like, there was nobody. They knew I had nobody backing me. I mean, they could hear her beating me. People could hear her.
Right.
People could hear her.
How do you feel about your mother? I could tell you have a lot of pain, as if you went back to that moment. But you are,
I
but
love
you
my
are,
mother
but you are
because I'm a
65.
child. I love my mother because I'm a child of God.
Yeah.
I have forgiven her because I'm a child of God.
Have you ever had this conversation before?
I'm not with her.
Has
Not
she ever
with her.
acknowledged the pain
No,
that she
she
put
won't.
you? She
And
won't.
she won't.
Is she alive now?
Yeah.
Really?
And I talk to her. I call her from time to time.
That's
to
good.
Say hi, ask her how she's doing. You know. But
she's never going to admit to us. She's never going to
would
acknowledge.
never.
Would that help?
No, it won't.
Okay.
It wouldn't.
I could tell with you that you're so forward thinking that you don't need that at this point in your life.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore. You know.
Right. I just cannot believe you went through all that molestation and stuff at such a young age. So that probably shaped the way you did drugs.
Yeah.
So you ever been in prison before?
No. Actually, I kind of ran from that one.
Okay.
I was selling drugs one night and didn't know that the cops was underneath the stairs.
Okay.
And I made a sale, and the guys came up from out the door and from under the stairs and said, "You're busted."
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, wow.
How old were you?
I was like, I'm like 20, 22 now.
Wow.
You know.
Old enough.
Yeah,
old enough to get into the big trouble.
Old enough. And so sure enough, I got arrested and, went to court and the judge said life. 25 to life. And I was like,
what?
No. And I just couldn't picture
what?
me being locked up for that long.
Right.
So I said, okay, can I just go home for a furlough so I can take care of my kids, so I can, get things situated with them?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, sure. He shouldn't have did that. He shouldn't have did that.
What?
Because I was with a foster mother then. And I called her and I said, Ma, meet me tomorrow at the bar, at Sam's Bar. I'm selling you my food stamps. I gotta go. She said, no, what are you doing? What are you talking about? I said, Ma, I cannot do no 25 to life. I cannot go to prison. I will not make it.
Right.
I will not make it. So she said, well, what are you gonna do? I said, I'm leaving. So she said, okay. And she met me that morning. I gave her my food stamps, and she gave me money. And I caught the first bus smoking. And I just started traveling.
Really?
Just traveling, working different places, lying about my age and
you're right.
Just getting jobs so I could work. And and that's the way it went for about a good 7 years.
Right.
They didn't catch me in time with the Monroe.
Okay.
I was working in Monroe, managing a restaurant.
Oh, you're a whole manager and everything.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And
how was it living where you have to always watch your back though? Was that stressful, or you kind of forgot about it after a while and you got comfortable?
Actually, I kind of forgot about it after a while because I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was working and making money and keeping a room to stay. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't kind of really dawn on me that much.
Okay.
But I had this girlfriend that I met in Monroe, and she had a friend that was in prison. So she wanted me to go with her because he had a friend.
Okay.
So I said, okay. I didn't really want to go, but she was my friend, so I went with her.
Right.
The friend needed an address so he can get out on parole.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Sheila, what you do that for?
Oh,
that was like the worst mistake I could have ever made.
Yeah, that put you on the map.
Because he was, while I was at work, he was reading my mail that I was getting from another friend that was in prison. She was telling me, giving me hints on how to stay out of trouble, how to stay missing, how to stay under the radar. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I was following her instructions.
Right.
So this one particular night, we used to always take turns going to each other's house on the weekends to get high.
Okay.
So this weekend it was my weekend. The girls come to my house.
Okay.
And he was there, and I said, well, we're going to go in the room this way we don't, disturb you, interrupt you or whatever. We went in the room and closed the door. He started hitting on the door, banging on the door, telling us, calling us dykes and stuff. Come on out of there. We wasn't even thinking about that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? All we wanted to do was get out.
Okay.
And he started taking the food out the refrigerator, throwing it in front of the house and everything. These are my food stamps, So they got scared.
So
of
what's
course.
wrong with him? Was he tripping off the drugs, or what was his
No,
deal?
he was just tripping. Period.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was saying.
Okay.
You know, like what the heck?
That's the thing about the drug life. You never know what the hell is going to happen.
Exactly.
It always gets tweaky.
Exactly. So they left because they got scared.
All right.
You know, they didn't want him to come after them. You know, so he started hitting on me. So I ran to the landlord's house, which was he lived on the premises.
Okay.
And he opened the door, and the guy punched him. He punched the landlord. What did he do that for? In Monroe County, you don't do that.
And not in the dirty South.
No.
Okay.
No.
Uh-huh.
So, of course, the cops come, and he says to them right away, oh, well, she ain't supposed to be here anyway. She's
a fugitive.
a fugitive. I looked.
I know you like, no
I
way,
was like,
dude.
oh, no, he didn't. Yes, he did. To myself, I'm saying, yes, he did, Sheila.
I know you like, it's done now.
Yeah, that's what I said. So once they got me, you know, in the cell or whatever, and I asked for my phone call, I called my mom, and I was like, I said, Mom, they got me. And she was like, where you at, babe? I said, I'm in Monroe County. She said, okay, well, just come on back and let's see how we can work this out.
Uh-huh.
So
you were missing for like 7 years, you said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then what happened after that?
So I went back, went to court.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed in jail for like a week.
Mm-hmm.
Went to court.
Mm-hmm.
The judge saw that my record had been clean for the 7 years.
Okay.
That I hadn't gotten any trouble or nothing like that. He said, well, you haven't been in no trouble for 7 years and you've been good. Like, he said, you can go. He said, well, I don't need you.
Honey, is that not a blessing?
I was like,
woo!
I was like, oh, I can go?
You said there is a God.
I said, I can go? I said, I can go anywhere? He said, yeah, you can go anywhere you want to go.
Wow.
I was like, I think I beat my mother out of the courthouse. My foster mother. I beat her out of the courthouse. I was standing outside waiting for her to come outside so we could get the car.
Yeah, you say, let's go. Yeah, let me go.
I was ready to go.
Before they change their mind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I can feel in your urgency right now.
So, you know, I got through that one by the grace of God.
Yes.
Again, by the grace of God.
Right.
You know.
So you had a foster mother. When did you have a foster mother? What was that about?
Well, when I turned 15, like, my stepfather, he got tired of seeing me on the street, walking the streets, trying to make money, you know, to eat or buy.
How were you making money?
Selling my body.
Really? How long when you started prostituting?
I say about 11 as soon as I left my mother.
11?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't really have a choice.
Yeah.
You know, I had no money to eat. And no means of knowing how to get anything to eat.
Right.
Except sleeping with somebody.
That's so sad. And these men were probably taking advantage of a young child.
Yeah.
Men, full grown men. Of course, who has the money, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I met a girlfriend. Me and her we wound up doing it together because her mother and father drank. And they were abusive.
Right.
You know. So me and her just kind of hung out together till we was up. So it was like I said, about 15. And my stepfather he just got tired of seeing me out there.
Now, how was he to you?
He was great. That was my Superman. I call him my Superman all the time.
But then your mother was, you know.
She didn't like the idea that he was protecting me all the time. Like,
right.
Like, he would tell her, like, stop beating her so much. Why do you beat her so much?
Wow.
Stop beating on her. And she didn't like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it got to the point where he got so tired of it, he said, I can't do this. And I was pulling on his leg because he jumped on her for jumping on me for no reason.
Right.
And he said, I can't do this because I was pulling on his leg because he was about to, like, kind of toss out the window.
Yeah.
And I was pulling on his leg and he was like, okay, baby, okay, I can't do this. Okay, I can't do this no more. And he started packing his stuff.
Uh-huh.
And he left. And when he left, I really started crying. I mean, I was performing.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, oh, that's what you think that's your father? I'm going to take you to your father.
Okay, what did that mean?
And I'm like, okay.
Like,
so she snatches me by the arm, pulls me down the stairs, drags me up the street, swung me in this house, sat me on this man's lap. It smelled like a brewery. It said, now, this your father. And I'm like, oh! Oh, I'm really crying now.
Right.
I'm screaming and I'm hollering, and they trying to get me quiet. So I didn't know I had a stepsister and some stepbrothers.
Right.
And he was like, take her to the store and get her some ice cream. My sister was like, I don't want to take her to the store.
How far away did he live from you?
Like, like 2 blocks.
What?
Like,
and you didn't know this was your daddy?
I sure didn't.
Oh my
Sure
goodness.
Sure did not. And I was evil. I was mad. I was a bad little girl. What? And I still never called him daddy. To this day, I say the man that my sperm donor.
Right.
My dad is my father.
Your stepdad.
My stepdad.
Right.
That's my dad.
At least you had some kind of foundation of a good man.
Yeah, I did. I did.
So
he actually tried to stop me from getting married because he felt something, and I didn't listen.
Right.
I just knew I was in love, and all that crazy stuff. But
right. So how were you as a foster kid? Like, so
as a foster kid, like I was good. Like I got a chance to go back to school.
Okay.
Get my 8th grade diploma.
Okay. That was excellent.
Yeah, I did that. I started having my children like really early.
How old?
So, matter of fact, when I got to my foster mother's house, I was already pregnant and didn't know it.
How old were you?
I was like 15.
Aww.
I did not know.
Really?
Because my mother never told me nothing about,
right,
missing a period or stuff like that.
Right.
I never got that from her. So I didn't know that when you don't see your period, that you're pregnant.
Yeah.
And I wasn't getting big. I was flat. Like,
right.
I was skinny. Wearing size 2 clothes. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know. So it wasn't until I got to my foster mother's that I was in the tub one day and I was washing. And I had been in there. I had been there for like maybe 2 weeks. And she came in the bathroom one day and she was sitting on the toilet and she was like, "What's the matter?" I said, "Why are you in here with me?" And she was like, "I want you to move that towel." I said, "Why?" She said, "I need for you to move the towel, Sheila." And I said, "Why? You gonna see my stuff?"
My stuff. That was back in the day. That was back in the day. That's my stuff.
She started laughing. She said, "No." She said, "Just move the towel down to here and hold your neck back like this." I said, "Okay." So I did it, and she said, "Baby, you pregnant." I said, "Huh?" I said, "No, I ain't." She said, "Yes, baby, you are. You're pregnant." She said, "We're going to the doctor tomorrow." So now the doctor was right on the corner. So we went to the doctor, and sure enough, he said, "Yeah, you're 6 months pregnant." I said, "What?"
6 months?
I started screaming.
But hold on, what was about your neck that she noticed you were pregnant?
A double pulse in your neck. Women get a double pulse in their neck. And I didn't know that.
Yeah, me either.
She knew.
Oh my God.
She knew. And yeah.
That's a pretty
and
cool.
And it seemed like as soon as he told me I was pregnant, I said, "Phew."
You just lost it.
I was big as a house.
Then it popped out.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. You think you hiding it, or you're not even thinking about it. And as soon as they brought
exactly, as soon as he said it, boom, I'm like,
wow. That is.
I'm like, wow. And I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready.
You were
to be
15.
a mom.
You were 15. No, you weren't.
I'm still a
yeah, you were a child.
Said, "Mom, I'm not ready. I don't know how to do this. I don't want to do this." And she said, "Don't worry about it. I got you."
Wow, so this was a good woman.
Yeah, she was.
She didn't judge you or anything during this time.
No, she didn't. Matter of fact, she listened to all my stories. She listened to all my hurt, my pain.
Right.
While the kids would sleep at night, we used to put the kids to bed.
Yeah.
And she used to sit down between my legs and I brushed her hair.
Aww.
And we talked
You
about
needed
everything.
You needed that. You deserved that. You deserved that.
There for me.
Because there's nothing worse than to have your own mother reject you. That is the worst thing on earth, close to death. So God sent that for you.
Yep.
So how long have you been homeless?
Well, this time, since 2016.
And what was that moment? What made you realize you had to be homeless? Hey guys, we're selling t-shirts to help raise money for the homeless. By purchasing this t-shirt, you're supporting the homeless. So please buy one today.
I had an apartment on Hoskins Mills Lane, but the landlord was a slumlord. Like, I was going to CPCC at the same time, and I started getting sick. I started breaking out, black and blue marks, and then my dreads started coming out. Like, I'd be fixing my hair, and I could dread fall out my hair, and I'm like, hey, what's going on?
Okay.
So I went to the doctor, and we tried everything. Nothing was working. So at the end of that year, he said, well, you know what? We're going to do an allergy test.
Okay.
To see what's going on. And so sure enough, I'm allergic to 13 different kinds of mold.
And the place was filled with mold.
And the place was filled with mold.
Uh-huh.
So, and I still paid my rent, mind you. I still paid my rent.
Okay.
I didn't stop.
Uh-huh.
Right? But I started calling the city.
Oh,
to
boy.
Clean it up. That's what made her mad.
Right.
That's what made her mad. Then I got a part-time job. I said, maybe just help me save some money and I can go ahead and move.
Right.
Saved up the money. He stopped wanting to take the rent. He wanted to take me to court, so we went to court.
Okay.
Went to court. I had on a uniform, ready to go to work, and my arm in a sling because I had broke my arm. And so the judge looks at me and she says, Miss Mainor, you're dressed for work. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, what is the problem? I said, they don't want to take my money. So the guy was sitting in the chair next to her. So she turned to him and she looked at him and she said, well, what's going on? So he just dropped his head, wouldn't say anything.
Right.
So she was like, Miss Mainor, what's going on?
Yeah.
So I explained it to her about the mold and this and that.
Uh-huh.
And so she said, wow. She said, this is sad. She said, unfortunately, he's a private owner and I can't do anything. We'll give you 30 days.
Okay.
She said, so by May 1st, you have to be going.
Okay.
So I said, okay, I understand.
Okay.
So I backed up me a U-Haul. So May 2016, I was homeless again.
Wow. How do you keep your strength through all that? Because, we talked already at the beginning.
God.
You've been through a lot.
God.
I would have never guessed you've been through all of the abuse, all of the pain that you've gone through. I would have never guessed. I mean, and right now, you're homeless and everything, but you still have you say you have your church sisters, and God is looking after you. Yeah, so I just can't imagine. We're going to end this because I don't want to take up too much of your time, but you're out here and you
got none but some time on me.
but you actually sleep on the streets. You actually sleep out on a bench.
America, that's the safest place.
And you're 65 years old, looking great, have all this strength, but because of unaffordable housing and just basically pulling things together from everything you've gone through, has life here for you right now.
Yeah.
And you so strong and so encouraging. And I've learned so much just talking to you.
Thank you.
Like, what are your final words or anything? I mean, who are you thankful for during this storm?
I thank God.
Yes.
For all of this. If it had not been for Him.
What's the biggest thing He saved you from?
Death. Just danger out here. Period.
Yeah.
It's dangerous out here.
Right, especially as a woman.
It really is. Like, people walk up to you and put their hand in your face and act like they're crazy. And, you look at them, I just have to move away. I just turn my little cart around and go about my business.
Right.
Because if you say something to them, then they be ready to fight. And I'm too old for doing that down.
Right.
I can't. I'm not. I won't do it. And I just tell them, look, I got a phone. I'll just dial 911.
Wrong one, yeah.
Because I'm not fighting.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I'm not fighting.
Wow.
For me, it's over. God has actually changed my life. And I know He's changed my life because I know me.
So let me ask you this before I forget. You said you used to do drugs and you don't anymore. How did you stop? When did you stop and how?
I stopped when I went to Hope Haven. Actually, yesterday was my 3 years.
Oh, wow. 3 years sober. Okay. And I know that wasn't easy because you started when you was a teenager. So how long did
I had been clean before then, too. When I lost my apartment in 2016, I just started drinking a lot again.
Yeah.
Only because I was out here and there wasn't nothing else to do.
Right.
I had a storage unit at the time where I was able to get to, on the bus.
Yeah.
And put my stuff up in the daytime and then go at 7 o'clock before they close and get my little blanket or whatever I needed for the night.
Right.
And be ready for the night. The storage has now closed And so now my stuff is on Still Creek somewhere. So it's impossible for me to go there every day.
Why did they close?
Why did they close?
You say your storage closed down?
No, my storage was on Tryon.
Okay, got you.
And I could get there, by the bus.
Right.
Go in there, sit down some time and read or talk on the phone,
But
I had it situated like that. But since they closed it down because they remodeling,
okay, got
they
you.
had everybody else's stuff had to be shipped someplace else.
Okay.
Mine went to Still Creek.
Oh, okay. It's
so
hard for you to get
it's
there.
so now it's like I'm stuck. And being that my back is aligned,
Uh-huh.
I have to have this carriage.
Right.
Because I can't pull anything.
Right.
Or push anything like really heavy. So
Right.
this is my best bet.
Y'all, please, support. Let's rally around. Let's support Sheila. Please press the thanks button and whatever money y'all contribute. Do you have a Cashapp? Okay, so she has a Cashapp, so we'll put that on the screen. And please give to Sheila. At least we'll be able to get her storage in an area that's closer to her. We can at least work on that if y'all, we all can rally around and give. And hopefully you will get your apartment very soon. And if anyone deserves to not be homeless, it's you. And I bet you cook really good, don't you?
Yes.
I know you can. I knew it.
Yes, I love to cook. And that's one of my things too, wanting to be able to cook, and come out here and serve.
Right, yes,
Come
and
out
that's
here
all
and
she
get
talked
that.
about. Even before the camera, we talked about serving, and she's taught me about resources because I'm trying to get into this nonprofit and really make a real impact and not just talk about it. So she's really helped me out with that, so I appreciate it. And hopefully I can come over for dinner one day.
Right.
All right, I appreciate you. Take care.